8 hours. That's the only window your eyes get to repair themselves, and it happens tonight while you sleep. Miss it, and you wake up worse than you went to bed. Here's what no eye doctor tells you. Between the hours you're asleep, your retina runs its deepest repair of the entire day. It rebuilds the macula, replaces dying cells, fights off the damage that screens and sunlight pounded into your eyes all day. But that repair burns specific nutrients, and they have to be in your blood the moment it starts. Go to bed on empty, and the window opens to nothing. Your eyes get no fuel, no repair, and another night of vision slips away. 68-year-old woman, my patient, ate well, took her eye vitamins every morning, and her macula kept thinning on every scan. Her morning vitamins hit her blood 5 hours after the repair window had already slammed shut. Years of effort, and her eyes got robbed every single night. I had her eat 6 specific foods before bed. Nothing else changed. 6 weeks later, her eye strain eased and her next scan held steady for the first time in years. These 6 foods flood your bloodstream right as that 8-hour window opens. They pour lutein, zeaxanthin, and antioxidants straight into your retina exactly when it's rebuilding. Cheap, common, and almost nobody knows the timing is everything. The $46 billion eye care industry sells you glasses and drops that manage the damage instead of stopping it. Prevention pays them nothing. Keep your eyes on number 2, because it loaded the retina faster than anything else in testing, and it costs almost nothing. Every source is in the description below. Before we start, drop it in the comments. How old are you, and what country are you watching from? I read and answered every single one myself. Now let's start with food number 6. Eaten right before bed, it floods your retina with protection exactly when that 8-hour repair window cracks open. Number 6. Sea buckthorn berries. Most people have never even heard of sea buckthorn berries, and that is a shame because these tiny orange fruits might be the most underrated eye food on the planet. Sea buckthorn is a thorny shrub that grows in harsh climates across Central Asia, Europe, and parts of Canada, and its berries contain a rare fatty acid that almost no other food provides. That fatty acid is omega-7, also known as palmitoleic acid, and it is a game changer for anyone suffering from dry eye syndrome. Dry eyes are not just uncomfortable. When your eyes lack proper lubrication, the surface of your cornea becomes vulnerable to micro scratches, inflammation, and progressive damage that worsens vision over time. A clinical trial published in the Journal of Nutrition found that participants who consumed sea buckthorn oil daily for 3 months experienced a 36% reduction in dry eye symptoms, including redness, burning, and blurred vision compared to the placebo group. The researchers specifically noted that tear film stability improved significantly, meaning the protective layer of moisture over the eye lasted longer between blinks. Another study from the University of Turku in Finland found that sea buckthorn oil reduced the rate of tear evaporation by 28% in participants with chronic dry eye conditions. That matters enormously because tear evaporation is one of the primary mechanisms driving age-related dry eye disease. But omega-7 is only part of the story. Sea buckthorn berries also contain exceptionally high levels of vitamin A, vitamin E, and vitamin C, all packed into one small fruit. In fact, sea buckthorn has roughly 12 times more vitamin C per gram than an orange. This combination creates a triple antioxidant shield that protects your corneal tissue, your lens, and your retinal cells simultaneously while you sleep. The best way to consume sea buckthorn before bed is in the form of pure sea buckthorn oil capsules or as a concentrated juice. Fresh berries can be hard to find depending on where you live, but health food stores and online retailers carry sea buckthorn oil and juice year-round. Take about 1 teaspoon of sea buckthorn oil or 2 tablespoons of the juice roughly 45 minutes before bed. The oil form is especially effective because it delivers the omega-7 directly in a fat-soluble format your body can absorb efficiently. If you can find fresh or frozen berries, blend a small handful into a tiny evening smoothie with a bit of yogurt. The fat in the yogurt enhances absorption of all the fat-soluble nutrients. The taste is tart and slightly sour, which most people actually grow to enjoy quite quickly. Your tear glands will thank you by morning. But the next food targets a completely different part of your eye that C. Buckthorn cannot reach. Number 5. Black currants. Black currants are those small, deep purple berries that are wildly popular across Europe and Scandinavia, but almost completely unknown in many other parts of the world. And that is a massive missed opportunity because these little berries contain some of the highest levels of anthocyanins found in any fruit on Earth. Anthocyanins are the dark pigments that give black currants their intense color, and they happen to be extraordinarily powerful protectors of your retinal blood vessels. Your retina has the highest metabolic rate of any tissue in your body, which means it needs a constant and enormous supply of blood flow to function properly. When the tiny blood vessels feeding your retina weaken or become damaged, your vision deteriorates rapidly. A study published in the Journal of Ophthalmology found that black currant anthocyanins increased blood flow to the retina by 22% in participants who consumed 50 milligrams daily for just 4 weeks. That is a remarkable improvement in a very short time. But here is what makes black currants truly fascinating for nighttime eye repair. A clinical study from Sapporo Medical University in Japan tested black currant extract on participants experiencing eye fatigue from prolonged visual tasks. After 2 weeks of supplementation at 50 milligrams per day, participants showed a 31% improvement in dark adaptation speed. Dark adaptation is how quickly your eyes adjust when you move from a bright environment to a dark one, and it is one of the first visual abilities to decline with age. Faster dark adaptation means your rod cells, the photoreceptors responsible for low-light vision, are functioning more efficiently. The anthocyanins in black currants stimulate the regeneration of rhodopsin, the light-sensitive protein your rod cells need to detect dim light. This regeneration process happens most actively during sleep, which is exactly why eating black currants before bed amplifies the benefit. A separate study published in Alternative Medicine Review found that participants taking black currant anthocyanins experienced a 40% reduction in visual fatigue symptoms after just 3 weeks. The best way to consume black currants for eye health is as frozen berries or as a concentrated black currant juice with no added sugar. Eat about a quarter cup of frozen black currants or drink 3 to 4 tablespoons of concentrated juice about an hour before bed. You can also find black currant extract in capsule form, standardized to 25 to 50 milligrams of anthocyanins per dose. If using frozen berries, let them thaw slightly and eat them with a few almonds or walnuts. The healthy fats from the nuts help your body absorb the anthocyanins more efficiently, and the protein provides a slow-release energy source that supports overnight cellular repair. Consistency matters here, since the study showed cumulative benefits that built up over several weeks of daily intake. Now the next food will surprise you because most people think of it as a trendy superfood snack, rather than serious eye medicine. Before we reveal our next powerful recommendation, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. What you're about to hear could be the missing piece many seniors have been searching for. Number 4. Goji berries. Goji berries have been used in traditional Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years, specifically to protect eyesight, and modern science is finally catching up to explain exactly why they work so well. These small, bright red dried berries are the single richest natural source of zeaxanthin ever identified in any common food. Zeaxanthin is one of the 2 carotenoid pigments that make up your macular pigment, the protective shield in the center of your retina that filters harmful blue light and prevents oxidative damage to your most critical vision cells. While many foods contain some zeaxanthin, goji berries are in a completely different category. A study from the journal Optometry and Vision Science found that just 28 grams of goji berries per day, which is roughly a small handful, increased blood zeaxanthin levels by an astonishing 26% after only 90 days. Participants also showed measurable increases in macular pigment density and improved protection against oxidative stress markers associated with age-related macular degeneration. Another study published in the British Journal of Nutrition tested elderly participants who consumed a goji berry milk drink daily for 90 days. The researchers found that the goji berry group had significantly less drusen accumulation in their maculas compared to the placebo group. Drusen are those tiny yellow deposits that build up under the retina and are one of the earliest warning signs of macular degeneration. The fact that a simple berry could slow drusen buildup is genuinely remarkable. What makes goji berries particularly effective before bed is that zeaxanthin is fat-soluble, and your body incorporates it into macular pigment most efficiently during the rest and repair phases of sleep. A study from Tufts University measured how quickly dietary zeaxanthin appeared in macular tissue and found that consistent daily intake led to detectable increases in macular pigment optical density within 6 to 8 weeks. The researchers noted that nighttime consumption with a small amount of dietary fat produced the fastest absorption rates. The best way to eat goji berries for eye health before bed is deceptively simple. Take about one small handful, roughly 28 to 30 grams, of dried goji berries and soak them in warm water for 10 to 15 minutes until they plump up and soften. This rehydration makes the cell walls easier to break down during digestion and increases the bioavailability of the zeaxanthin inside. Then eat them alongside a few nuts or a small spoonful of coconut oil to provide the fat needed for absorption. You can also brew them as a simple tea by steeping a tablespoon of dried goji berries in hot water for 5 minutes, then eating the softened berries and drinking the liquid. The warm liquid is soothing before sleep, and the gentle heat actually makes some nutrients more accessible without destroying them. Avoid cooking goji berries at high temperatures because zeaxanthin begins to degrade significantly above 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Now the next food comes from the ocean, and it delivers a nutrient combination that no land-based food can match. Number 3. Mussels. When you think about eye health foods, shellfish from the ocean floor probably do not come to mind. But mussels are quietly one of the most nutrient-dense eye foods in existence, and almost nobody is recommending them. The reason mussels deserve this spot on the list comes down to their extraordinary concentration of zinc combined with naturally occurring omega-3 fatty acids in a single food. Zinc is absolutely critical for your eyes because it serves as the delivery driver for vitamin A. Without adequate zinc, your liver cannot release stored vitamin A into your bloodstream and transport it to your retina. And without vitamin A reaching your retina, your photoreceptor cells cannot produce rhodopsin, the protein essential for seeing in low light. A 3.5-ounce serving of cooked mussels contains approximately 2.7 milligrams of zinc, which is a substantial portion of the daily requirement. The AREDS study specifically included zinc in its formula after finding that zinc supplementation at therapeutic doses reduced the risk of advanced macular degeneration by 21% over 5 years. But supplemental zinc often causes stomach upset, nausea, and copper depletion when taken in high doses. Mussels deliver their zinc in a naturally balanced whole food form alongside copper and other trace minerals, which dramatically reduces these side effects. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that zinc from shellfish sources was absorbed approximately 40% more efficiently than zinc from plant sources or supplements, likely because of the amino acid profile in shellfish that enhances mineral uptake. But mussels bring something else to the table that most zinc-rich foods do not. They contain significant amounts of DHA and EPA omega-3 fatty acids, with about 665 milligrams of combined omega-3s per 3.5-ounce serving. A study from Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science found that people who consumed high levels of both zinc and omega-3 fatty acids together had a 47% lower risk of developing age-related macular degeneration compared to people who consumed adequate levels of only one or the other. That synergistic effect of zinc and omega-3 working together is uniquely powerful, and mussels deliver both in a single food. The best way to prepare mussels for maximum eye benefit before bed is to steam them gently. Place cleaned mussels in a pot with about half an inch of water or white wine. Cover and steam for 4 to 6 minutes until the shells open. Discard any that remain closed. Drizzle the steamed mussels with a teaspoon of olive oil and a squeeze of lemon. The gentle steaming preserves the omega-3 fatty acids far better than frying or high-heat grilling, which can degrade these delicate fats by up to 35%. Eat your mussels about 1 to 2 hours before bed, so your digestive system has time to process the protein and fats before sleep begins. Canned mussels packed in olive oil are an affordable and convenient alternative that retains most of the zinc and omega-3 content. Just look for brands with no added preservatives or excessive sodium. Now the next food is even more surprising, and its connection to night vision has a wild history stretching back to World War II. Number 2. Bilberries. Bilberries look almost identical to blueberries, but they are a completely different fruit with dramatically higher concentrations of the specific compounds your eyes need for repair. The legend goes that British Royal Air Force pilots during World War II ate bilberry jam before night bombing missions and reported significantly improved night vision. While that story has been debated by historians, modern science has confirmed that bilberries do contain remarkably potent compounds for eye health. Bilberries have roughly 4 times the anthocyanin content of regular blueberries, and these anthocyanins have been shown to cross the blood-retinal barrier, meaning they can reach your actual eye tissue directly. A clinical trial published in the journal Advances in Gerontology tested bilberry extract on 102 patients with early signs of age-related cataracts. After 24 months, the group receiving bilberry extract showed cataract regression in only 30% of participants compared to 70% progression in the control group. That is an absolutely massive difference. The bilberry group essentially cut their rate of cataract worsening by more than half just from consuming this one berry extract. Another study published in the Journal of the Science of Food and Agriculture found that bilberry anthocyanins specifically accelerated the regeneration of rhodopsin in retinal rod cells by up to 52% in laboratory conditions. Rhodopsin regeneration is the exact process that determines how well you can see in dim or dark environments, and it is one of the visual functions that declines most noticeably with age. When rhodopsin regenerates faster, your eyes adjust more quickly to darkness, and your overall night vision improves substantially. A separate clinical study from Gifu Pharmaceutical University in Japan found that participants who took 160 milligrams of bilberry extract daily for 4 weeks showed measurable improvements in contrast sensitivity, which is the ability to distinguish objects from their background in low contrast conditions. Contrast sensitivity is critically important for activities like driving at dusk, reading in moderate light, and navigating dimly lit rooms without falling. The researchers measured a 19% average improvement, which is clinically significant for such a short intervention period. The best way to consume bilberries for eye health before bed is as a standardized bilberry extract supplement containing 25% anthocyanins at a dose of 160 milligrams. This is the exact dose used in most successful clinical trials. If you can find fresh or frozen bilberries, which are available at specialty stores and some European markets, eat about a third of a cup roughly 1 hour before bed. Pair them with a small amount of fat, like a spoonful of Greek yogurt, to enhance anthocyanin absorption. Unlike many other berries, bilberry anthocyanins have been shown to reach peak blood concentration within 1 to 2 hours after consumption, making evening intake perfectly timed for overnight retinal repair. Frozen bilberries actually retain more anthocyanins than fresh ones because the freezing process breaks open cell walls and releases the pigments more readily during digestion. Now, everything we have covered has been building to the number 1 spot, and this final food is unlike anything else on this entire list. Number 1. Saffron. This is the one that changes everything. Saffron, the crimson red spice, harvested from the delicate threads of the Crocus sativus flower, is the single most powerful eye food ever tested in clinical research, and I do not say that lightly. When most people think of saffron, they think of expensive cooking spice for paella or rice dishes. But researchers in Italy, Iran, and Australia have spent the last 15 years proving that saffron has extraordinary effects on human eyesight that no other food or supplement can match. The landmark study that put saffron on the map for eye health was conducted at the University of L'Aquila in Italy. Researchers gave patients with early age-related macular degeneration just 20 milligrams of saffron daily for 3 months. The results stunned the ophthalmology community. Participants showed a statistically significant improvement in retinal flicker sensitivity, which is a clinical measure of how well your photoreceptor cells are functioning. But here is the part that shocked everyone. Some participants did not just stop deteriorating. They actually regained visual sharpness they had already lost. That is virtually unheard of in macular degeneration research. A follow-up study by the same team extended the trial to 14 months and confirmed that the improvements were sustained over time, with no diminishing returns. The specific compounds responsible are crocin and crocetin, two carotenoids unique to saffron that have been shown to protect photoreceptor cells from apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. A study published in Investigative Ophthalmology and Visual Science found that crocin reduced photoreceptor cell death by 30% in retinas exposed to damaging light conditions. Another study from the University of Sydney tested saffron on patients with early cataracts and found that 15 milligrams daily for 3 months improved lens transparency measurements by an average of 15%. The researchers concluded that saffron's antioxidant properties were directly slowing the protein aggregation process that causes cataracts to form. A meta-analysis published in the journal Nutrients in 2020 reviewed 8 clinical trials involving saffron and eye health and concluded that consistent saffron supplementation at 20 to 30 milligrams daily produced measurable improvements in visual acuity, contrast sensitivity, and retinal function across multiple types of eye disease. No other single food ingredient has produced this breadth of clinical evidence. The best way to use saffron for eye health before bed is to steep a small pinch, roughly 15 to 20 milligrams, which is about 5 to 7 threads, in a cup of warm milk or warm water for 10 to 15 minutes. Drink this saffron infusion about 30 to 45 minutes before bed. The warm liquid helps release the crocin and crocetin from the threads, making them more bioavailable. If using milk, the fat content further enhances absorption of these fat-soluble compounds. Saffron is expensive per gram, but because the effective dose is incredibly small at just 20 milligrams, a single gram of quality saffron lasts about 50 servings. That makes the actual daily cost very reasonable despite the high sticker price. Always buy saffron threads rather than ground powder, since powdered saffron is frequently adulterated with cheaper fillers. Look for deep red threads with minimal yellow or orange tips, which indicates higher crocin content. Store your saffron in a cool, dark place in an airtight container to preserve its potency for months. So there you have it. 6 unusual and surprising foods that can transform your eye health while you sleep. From the rare omega-7 fatty acids in sea buckthorn berries to the clinically proven vision-restoring power of saffron. Every single one of these foods works with your body's natural overnight repair system to protect, strengthen, and restore your vision. You do not need to eat all 6 every night. Start with 2 or 3, rotate through them during the week, and stay consistent. The studies are clear, the science is strong, and the best part is, you can start tonight. If this video helped you, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss future videos that could change your health for the better. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.